afternoon, everyone. Welcome back. Thank you so much for joining me today. This is going to be a reading for Pisces, Sun, Moon, and Rising for the week of September 20th to the 26th. Bear in mind that there is a full moon on the 20th, 21st, depending on where you live, and that we're switching seasons. We are going into fall as of the 22nd, fall equinox. And we're also the sun is moving into Libra. So there's lots of energetic shifts happening this week. Let's see, what is the major theme for Pisces as they navigate their week? Fate. Ooh, that is nice. I don't think I've ever pulled this card before. Okay, let's leave that out to guide our reading. Fate. So Pisces, it appears that you are moving into a destined path. Something this week will be guiding you towards that fated path. Perhaps it has been building for quite some time. Okay, I just saw the Fool and the Death card as I was shuffling. There's the Fool. Okay, so let's see if we can clarify our guiding message of fate with our tarot cards here. We're going to dive right in for Pisces, Sun, Moon, and Rising positions. Let's get started here. Okay, thank you so much. For Pisces, two queens right off the top. Okay, Pisces, this is your reading. We got the Moon card here, which is Pisces energy. This is dramatic right from the get-go as I pull the cards here. My goodness, I'm starting to sweat. Okay, we got the Page of Cups on the bottom of the deck. And let us begin here for Pisces. Okay, so when we see these two queens, both in reverse, in the positions that they're in, it's a very interesting time for the individual we're reading for. So when you see, first of all, when you see this lovely queen in reverse, that really suggests a time of disarray, okay? That suggests a time where you're feeling unorganized, internally and externally. So the physical space around you, as well as your internal space, feels unorganized, like almost like you're squandering resources maybe, or you're hanging on to things that no longer are relevant. Like, it's interesting. It's like it comes down to a basic management of resources and energy, and it's in a state of disorganization. Now, I can see from the cards that are on the table why this is happening, but we'll go step by step. But I mean, it makes sense. Right now, there is this desire for security and status. So that happens usually because something else has, like, this is catalyzed by something, right? So right now, my dear Pisces, it's like you're in a state of disorganized energy, internal and external, and it's coming at you. We see the obstacle or the challenge creating that position is the Queen of Swords in reverse, which is really a time where there is like some grief. You're grieving. You're in solitude, and it's restricting your view of the world slowly. This Queen of Swords, when she's in reverse here, that really says that your view of the world is becoming more and more narrow because of some sadness, some grief, some sorrow, some disappointment, some heartbreak. You know, there is some critical energy here, either by the self being critical of the self or others being critical of you. There's almost this idea that I don't want to play. I don't want to play anymore. If the rules are like this, I'm not playing. And as a result, that's actually creating a challenge for you to to become less unorganized. So this energy, they're both fueling each other right now. These two queens are fueling each other. One is very sad and feeling this very narrow view of the world, and the other one, as a result, is feeling very, very disorganized and confused by the environment outside and inside. So there is this energy here for you, Pisces, where you're going through a phase that is, it's like coming out of a circumstance that is unknown to you still. The thing driving your reading is the moon card, which is Piscean energy. So you stepping into the new version of yourself. You are changing. You are experiencing some evolution here that is coming at you through painful process. And remember, we saw fate here as your guiding theme for the reading. So this is not happening by accident. This process of feeling that narrowed view that is keeping you in solitude and feeling like you need to organize internally and around you differently is fated. This is a process that is almost, I like the word prearranged. Like this is happening because it needs to. Okay, now this Queen of Swords in reverse, just to give you some sort of like background, if you will, like the Queen of Swords, when she's in reverse, it's like something has happened in your personal life that is it's like suppressing something within you, and that suppression of emotion or perception is carrying with it a heavy feeling of like grief. There's really no other way to describe the Queen of Swords in reverse other than by saying sorrow and grief are present right now for you, Pisces. Okay, and that could be grief over a cycle that has just ended. It could be grief because something has shattered in your day-to-day life and you're coming to terms with it, and you're not doing so with patience. You're coming to terms with it through that narrowed view of, I don't want to play anymore. You're almost angry at your creator. You're angry. You're feeling like this isn't fair and I don't want to play anymore. I just want to pack up and move out of here. I don't want to play anymore. I don't have any patience for this. There is no such thing as divine timing. How could something like this be fated? And again, I said this for another reading, I believe it was Aquarius. It's almost like that's the point of all of this, is to get you to question some things so that you will arrive at the place where you understand that this is all being driven by something unknown to you at this time, but it's intuitive and it's you. This card represents Pisces, and that is you. You are coming into understanding yourself in a brand new way, and you don't have any tolerance for it right now. Right now, your tolerance for this new vibe is very low. And I would say that something in the recent energy, the recent past energy, shook your world up so dramatically that it caused this storm, these lightning bolts, and this tower to fall. And you're like, no, I will not accept this. I will not accept this happening. No. And you're in resistance to it. It's like there's some truth that is faded. Again, the tower is karma coming in to change things that need to change. And these faded events are happening to wake you up. But, the process of waking up can be carved through unpleasant moments. And I say unpleasant to generalize because this is a general reading. It won't resonate for everyone, so don't force it. But if you've recently gone through something as significant as, let's say, the death of a parent, the death of a loved one, something that causes the human experience to grieve very deeply, grief in its deepest form, something for you, if this is resonating for you, Pisces, and it's it's made you say, this experience left you saying, I don't want to play anymore, which is almost like a big, like, pardon my language, but it's like a big fuck you to the universe to say, I don't want to play with you anymore. You're not nice. You're not playing nice, and I don't want to play with you anymore. And that's our human experience sometimes of things we don't and can't understand yet. Your view is very narrow right now. It's a pinhole because the way you're looking at it isn't the whole picture. But you need to walk this path right now, Pisces. It's important for you to walk it. And I can see that what's coming up for you is a lot of feelings of like, I don't want to sacrifice more than I have already. I don't want to sacrifice more. And a lack of patience for the sacrifices that have been made so far. Now, the upcoming energy for you is more of the same. I think you're going to be sitting in this space for a bit. The upcoming energy here is that something that was in balance is now no longer in balance. Something that was stable is no longer stable. Something that was clear has become muddy. Do you know what I mean? Like, there is something here that feels like injustice to you. It's like there is something that has happened that has led you to, even in the upcoming future, feel like, just like that your threshold has been reached, and that there are consequences that you weren't anticipating to have to manage. Okay, Pisces? And that it's almost like there is something coming to push you further a little bit. And it could be because of the attitude of, I don't want to play anymore. So if you don't want to play anymore, the universe is like, well, I've got to engage the Pisces to play because this timeline needs them. I need them on this timeline. It's fated, you know? And so if your attitude is, I don't want to play anymore, I'm out of here. Well, the universe has to drag you back into it somehow because there is something fated here that needs to be seen through. As difficult as it may be right now, Pisces, it is going to lead to your evolution, your rebirth. Like we see the Page of Cups on the bottom here, but it's not going to come until we face a difficult truth. Right behind it, the Five of Swords in reverse, something that you are having a hard time facing. You're having a hard time believing the sun is going to come up after you face this truth. And, you know, it's going to be in balance again, but it's going to take some time and some acceptance. Acceptance, patience, trust. These are the things when you're walking a fated path, and that we're getting this clear message of this golden egg on a pillow that says, take care of this golden egg as you walk this path that is unpleasant. I mean, that's the only way to describe it lightly, is to say that you're experiencing an unpleasant human experience that is teaching you a lot of truth about something, but it doesn't feel fair. You don't want to play anymore. And it's interesting because driving everything here for you is this idea that there are some synchronicities happening to line all of this up. This really is fated. And it's almost like, you know, think about what the moonlight is. The moonlight is the sun reflecting off the moon, and then we see that as moonlight. But the moon itself has no light. The only light the moon has is when the sun is shining on it. And so the moon is the feminine energy and the sun is the masculine energy. So when you think about what it means when you see a full, shiny, full moon like this, it means that that masculine energy of the sun is shining its light on the feminine to get it to evolve. What does light do? Light helps things grow. Light also illuminates and shows clarity when things are hidden from us. Nothing grows in darkness, right? And so think of it that way, if that helps, Pisces, that this process, albeit it feels really uncomfortable and unpleasant, and you feel like you're at the end of your rope, and I'll get into those cards in a second, this is all leading you somewhere. Fated. So it's something, it's important in your human experience, Pisces, this process. Now, in terms of your inner dialogue right now, you're having a hard time believing that you can begin again. You're having a really hard time believing that after all this is done, or during this process, that there is any version of reality where you will have the strength to begin again. Okay? This is, you just want to lay down your burdens. This is what this card is. You want relief. You don't want to feel like you're in that pressure cooker anymore. And it's because you're avoiding it. You're saying, I don't want to play anymore. That is essentially like, I'm going to bury my head in the sand and pretend that this doesn't exist because I'm done. I don't want to play anymore. And by burying your head in the sand to avoid the issues, you're almost creating falsities around you, okay? And it's like you're hiding your light. And like we said, nothing grows in darkness, right? Like the moon needs the sun to shine its light on it so that it can be reflected back. And that gives us the energy of the moon, comes from the sun shining light on it. And so it's the same idea that if you bury your head in the sand, Pisces, miss out on that illumination that the sun shines on the moon, the answers. You know, it's like, I know right now you feel like you're the only one holding all of this and that you're exhausted and that you feel like the burdens have been laid down on you. But it's almost like, look, this is a 10. You're almost done. You're just about finished this cycle. You're going to start a new one. It's almost like I think of all the 10s as being between two worlds, because to me, the 9 is when you finish. The 10 is really just the beginning of the next chapter, but it's like between two worlds still. So you're still getting a taste of that old path mixed with the new path. Does that make sense? And so it's interesting that your internal dialogue is echoing everything that we have seen so far when it comes to how you're feeling. You don't want to play anymore. You just want this unpleasant chapter to end, but it's almost like you don't want to participate in that. Now, the energy of how you're coming across to the external world is also echoing all of this. It's a 9. It's the 9 of Swords. So you are coming to the end of it. But as you come to the end of this cycle, the feelings you're carrying with you are shame, depression, loneliness, maybe even a bit defiant, or you protesting against things. Again, that protesting. I don't want to play. I just want to bury my head in the sand. I want to lay down my burdens and just go to sleep. I don't want to deal with this. It's too much, right? Anxiety could be justified right now, because usually when this card is upright, it's sort of like you're manifesting your worst nightmare. But when it's reversed, it's like you're living your worst nightmare. You're not manifesting it, you're experiencing it right now, Pisces. And it's tough. It's tough, and it's all shadow work. I just did a post about shadow work on my Instagram. It's all about the shadow work and the spiritual soul search that involves the exploration of your fears. Okay, it's that part of you that, and I say this. Oh, my tummy was grumbling. I say this wholeheartedly. It's the part of you that you hate. Okay, it's the part of you that you don't love, and it's the part of you that needs love most of all. But right now, you're living this part of yourself that you almost despise. You have contempt for this part of you, but this experience is providing you with an opportunity to face this shadow and love it. Love it into light. Lots of shadow and light metaphors for you. Now, what's happening on a deep level for you right now, in addition to all of this, is the idea of sacrifice. So right now, you're sort of feeling like if you have to sacrifice one more thing, you're done. You feel done in general right now, Pisces, but when we see the Hangman in reverse here, that really says to me that you're you're totally preoccupied with how this situation is impacting you. You're not seeing the faded aspect of it. You're just saying, I can't lose anymore. I can't give up anymore. I can't sacrifice anymore. There is no such thing as divine timing. This is all just a cruel joke from the universe. That's where you're sitting right now, Pisces. You're sitting in a space where it's like I said earlier, it's a big fuck you to the universe. That's where you're sitting right now. And it's because of this circumstance that you are unable to see in a different way right now. You're just not able to see it in that way right now. Now, upcoming for you in terms of how is this all going to wash out is this idea that you will come to the judgment of all of this. Okay, you are going to transcend that narrow perspective and see the truth. Okay, you're going to transcend that narrow perspective that we talked about, and it's going to help you mature. And I don't say that as like, in a condescending way, but it's going to help you evolve and mature into the next realization of yourself, where you're no longer going to be saying, I don't want to play anymore. This isn't fair. This isn't fated. This isn't divine timing. This is a nightmare. You're going to see it for what it is in your life, in your experience, why this has happened. And it's almost like it's going to help you accept responsibility where you had responsibility. And more importantly than that, for you, I need to say this now, is it's going to end the karmic pattern that you're living out right now. So although there is a strong desire for you to bury your head in the sand and to dismiss what's happening, it's almost like you're being called to see everything that's happening and to experience all of it, because it's going to transition you. It's going to transform you once you accept the truth of the situation that is difficult for you to do at this moment. Very interesting reading, Pisces. Now, to close your reading for this week of September 20th to the 26th, we're going to pull from the Moon Oracle deck because of all of the energy coming to us from that full moon in Pisces, which is in your sign. Very interesting time to be a Pisces. You got one card, full moon in Gemini. The answers you need are coming. They are coming. That's what we just discovered when we see the Judgment card at the end of your spread. Hang on, hang on, hang on, Pisces, hang on. This unpleasantness is going to shake out to something faded. Hang in there, Pisces. You've got this. You do. You got to hang in there. Rely on your friends. Rely on supports. You don't have to do this alone, Pisces. You don't have to do this by yourself. So fear not, regardless of how truly fearful you are feeling right now. Breathe and remind yourself that this human experience is a metaphor to teach us who we can become, not to show you that, the universe is awful and that we're all in this alone and that you're screwed and you need to bury your head in the sand. No. Try to resist those lower vibrational feelings as much as you can. And don't come for me in the comments as I say that. I'm just interpreting the energy that I see. Okay, I appreciate that this must feel like hell right now. Okay, Pisces, if this has resonated for you and you would like a personal reading, my email is in the description below. And as always, thank you so much for liking, subscribing, and watching. And we will see you again very soon for another reading. Sending you lots of love and light.